Good evening, and a very warm welcome back to the Lumenswap Show with myself, Glow, and Nola's hiding there somewhere in the mountains, snowy mountains of Colorado. I believe that she has just jumped on, and it's great to have her with us. It's been 2 weeks now. We had last week off as a little kind of rest period because we've been hammering this for a long time. Here she is. Good to see her.
Hi, guys.
Very warm welcome. Welcome back to everyone, whether you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, in my Facebook group. Very, very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. So, first of all, Glow, how's things? What have you been up to? Have you had a good, productive week?
Yeah, things are great. Just got another puppy today. That's 2 puppies in the last 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Full house. So been busy with that. Been a lot going on with Stellar. Looks like the DAO's coming soon to Lumenswap. Everybody's ready for that DAO software so we can start putting in these proposals and bring in more utility.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's days away now. So it's he did say to us, Vlad said to us it was going to be March. So yeah, could be any time, couldn't it, in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it's going to be very, very soon. So we're super excited. But let's not steal any of Nola's thunder. Here she is in Colorado, snowy Colorado. Am I right in saying that, Nola?
Yes, that is correct. I am in very snowy Colorado.
So what are you up to today? Are you out adventuring? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. So I live in Western Colorado, and I live on the verge between the mountains and the desert. And it's really cool because I can either go, I can go either way. And today I'm going to head out to the desert because it's finally warm enough. And we've got a gaggle of wild horses about an hour away, and I love to go take photos of them. So I'm going to do that after this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So what sort of temperatures are you looking like in the desert now? What sort of heat?
I don't know. It's probably about mid-40s right now. I would say maybe about 35 where I'm sitting, but the sun, I'm also at 7,000 feet. So when the sun hits you, it's actually quite hot.
And I've seen you doing also, like I've had a little brief look in like sort of your blogging stuff and like your website. So talk to us about some of the cool stuff that you do, because I'm into lots of adventure stuff as well. I've seen you like careering down mountains and paddle boarding and what's your gig on the weekend? What's your favorite things to do?
Well, most winters I ski, but I'm taking a hiatus from that this year. Oh, there's my cat. Don't mind him. I just decided I get tired. I ski somewhere between 30 to 60 days a season, and one winter I hit 100 days, and I just get burnt out now. I'm just tired, and gotta give the knees a break. They're starting to feel it pretty bad, but other than that, in the summertime I do a lot of paddleboarding. I don't know if you guys even know about paddleboarding, but I do a lot of stand-up paddleboarding, and I actually do a lot of river rafting, that kind of thing. Get on the rivers, and I fly fish the heck out of everywhere, and yeah, that's kind of just what I go out and do.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was like one of the default Zoom backgrounds for a minute. I didn't realize that's real background.
Yeah, that's that.
It's a nice view.
I was gonna be inside, but I was like, yesterday it was cold, really cold, and today it was like, wow, it's nice. I'm gonna get outside.
Well, all that's, I think I saw you on Instagram. I think I saw you had a video and you were doing like some kind of paddle boarding, but you were like going down like almost some rapids or something,
Yeah.
Not big rapids, but it was like I've done paddle boarding in Indonesia and in the Keys where the water's been like a mirror. And I've just about managed to stay on, you know what I mean? Because I'm a big, tall dude, so I can easily topple over.
Right.
But I've seen you guys, and you're kind of going down these like rapids and everything. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, we like to get creative out here in the western states. We just have lots of rivers, and they're really exciting. And Paddleboarding in the US at least became kind of really popular amongst kayakers, and it was just kind of like what they could do to take to the next level. And a lot of the brands, we actually have 3 brands that are born here in Colorado, and they make boards specifically for whitewater and river surfing. So that's kind of like, that's just the new jam we've all been getting into the past 5 years. Pretty exciting. It's scary as all heck, though.
so it's like a kind of like, that's like the new buzz, like, you know, for over the last sort of 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I've looked at it thinking, oh, like that just looks badass. I've whitewater rafted. You know, when I was in the army, we did a lot of stuff up in Canada and stuff, and I've had loads of fun. But like, you know, when I looked at that, I thought I need to, you know, pull a few years back and get involved in that stuff. Right. It just looks the best.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, shoot, paddleboarding works your whole body, so it's kind of the best sport for everything, and you get pretty ripped in the summer.
We started this new class, this new HIIT class at the gym in the swimming pool, and they would string out paddle boards across the pool, so front and back, like to either side of the pool, and then you would have to start doing like your burpees and your press ups and. You know, and of course, because of like you're saying, you know, the core, your core is always tense because you're always trying to keep your balance as well. Yeah. And it's a really, really good workout. I've not been there for a while now, but it's a really good workout. Maybe 18 months ago. Great stuff.
Yeah, hella fun.
So, talk to us about. We always, when we have guests on, tell the watchers, the listeners, our community, how did you kind of stumble into crypto?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have a girlfriend, and through COVID, we started dating through COVID, and you know, our conversations would go into like, how the hell do we get out of this shit? Right. And for months, she's like, we need to do this. We need to do this. And I'm like, all right, tell me how. Just, you know, and she was just like, I don't know. And she kind of had her connections and people she would follow on, I don't know, Instagram or wherever. She does a lot of stuff on there. And she started like reaching out to some homies and trying to figure out, okay, which exchanges, which wallets. And, you know, we jumped straight into the ISO 2022 or whatever it is, compatible projects and blockchains. I don't really know why, but when she was talking about it, I would start to research, and I just got looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin and everything out there, and it was just, God damn, I didn't like it. I didn't like where it was. I didn't like where anything was going. I found really cool projects, so I invested in a few small projects. I think Pauly and Cardano and a couple of those guys, Algal and those guys, but when we really got researching and we finally started digging in, XLM, XRP, I mean, you know, we wanted to be part of, she was always talking about things being backed by, like, I think XRP by the gold standard, XLM backed by silver, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know what that means, but when I got looking into the blockchains themselves and I got looking at the fees, and, you know, which direction either of those were going in the new financial system in the world, that's just kind of how we landed. And so we both just kind of jumped into those, and then, you know, one rabbit hole after another. I don't even know where to start looking. And I was never active on Twitter. I joined in 2010. I don't know, I was like ski industry crap, you know, trying to build a following in the outdoor world. And, you know, it doesn't go anywhere. So, but I started doing little searches on there, and then I found, you know, people, and then I think eventually, like, Ben, I came across you somewhere along the way, and, you know, you just had all this information. So after a few rabbit holes, I landed down the Lumenswap tunnel, and here I am.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of find their way that way with the ISO tokens. Especially right now, a lot of people are worried about getting their bank accounts frozen, not being able to access funds if there is an emergency. Definitely do want to send all my prayers out to anybody who's being affected with everything going on right now. But it's not a good situation. You don't want to be out waiting on an ATM or just being unable to access your funds or getting your funds confiscated. It's becoming more and more of a reality now.
Yeah. And then, you know, I mean, the last year, I don't know what the hell happened. Obviously, we all know what the hell happened, but geez, our dollar, the freaking inflation. I So I paddleboard guide in the summer for a company, and I take a lot of I live near a very high-end resort town, and we take some high-end people, and I get a lot of dollars handed to me, and I'm like, cool, I stock them away, and I actually have a pile I'm sitting on for when MoneyGram happens, and I can run to that and go stick that into XLM, because I'm like, I just hate that I'm like, I have these dollars and they're just eroding away to nothing. It drives me nuts. Just watching that. I'm like, if I get a big paycheck and I stick it in the bank and it's just going to sit there in a savings account, like, I don't want to do that anymore. And I think so many people are in that same boat too. We're just tired of watching this happen. And we want to, even though markets go up and down, everything, slow and steady is still going up. So we see the value in that.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, for here as well, it's a little different. I mean, Sir Cheesley and I talk pretty much on a daily basis about sort of different financial stuff and topics, and whether we should be rolling with things, with the US regulation and all sorts of different things. But one thing we'll be talking about is like, dollars and hedging and this kind of thing, because it's not just, say, the taxation, of your earnings, taking that chunk out. Then you've got to be aiming off for, in reality, here in the UK, we're probably running about 15% inflation at the moment, as in not bullshit figures from the government. I'm talking, when you're paying your bills, whether it's your fuel costs, your heating, food, it's 15. So you think, well, your buying power is decreasing that quickly. You've got to be getting 16% return to get a net 1%. And you think, well, there's nothing out there in the real world that's even coming close. It's all no, whatever percent. Yeah. So it's a real life problem for millions, maybe billions of people, right, across the world at the moment, where they're printing so quickly. The amount of currency coming out into circulation is coming so quick that it's just devaluing everything that we've got. Artificial, property, stocks, everything is all pumped with this currency that's being printed out. And we're in a pickle, aren't we, in terms of the real world, a real pickle.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned it earlier with the gold back or the silver back currencies. They need to be backed by something, because right now we're seeing what happens whenever currencies aren't backed by anything. They just keep on printing, and eventually they become worthless. We've seen in Venezuela where they're just throwing dollars on the street. They're using them as toilet paper because it only has as much value as people perceive it to have. That's why we need these limited assets to actually bring utility that are inflationary instead of deflationary.
Yeah, totally. It's and I mean, I'm sure, Ben knows in the UK, cost of living. I've got a pretty good friend that lives on the other side of the state, and she came over here some 30 years ago, but, she still talks about how the changes have happened. And when she goes back and just the way, neighborhoods have been transformed, and gentrification's happening everywhere. And I mean, I stopped skiing this year because the pass price went up, and I was like, look, I used to ski here when it cost like $70 for a day ticket 10 years ago. Why is this thing now almost $300 a day? Like, what is this? And nobody has a place to live, so they can't find enough people to work. I mean, it's just a bad situation. I think it just, COVID just kind of put a nail in the coffin for so many places. And, I hate that the US dollar, that we have such a vast difference in its value, where, my dollar might be worth like 20 cents versus somebody in, say, we'll go with Arkansas or Oklahoma, where that might be worth 80 cents or something. It's like, it just sucks. I'm like, so I want that. Like, I believe in it, crypto bringing that financial equality, because everything's one and one, no matter where you're at. And if we can all play on that same level field, then we'll be a lot better off around the world.
Yeah, I think that, like, Glow has touched on, some of the stuff that's happened recently in the frozen bank accounts and that kind of thing. I think that's just the biggest advertisement for crypto that's ever happened. When you can have someone come in because you've got a belief. For me, I look at these central, and not everyone that knows me knows that I'm just anti-establishment, against centralization, central banks, one of the reasons I'm here in crypto. But I see these people, because you've got an opinion on something, they just shut you down. You know, they've got the ability to press a button like that, and that's you closed down, that you've lost your banking, you've lost your car. You know, you really, unless you are you know, a little bit savvy, right, then you have lost your livelihood, you know, the ability to transact in a click of a button. And I find that terrifying, that people have got that power to be able to do that, you know. And you think to yourself, this is now a big advertisement, when we were seeing what was happening, you know. And even with the big corporations, you know, the Just Givings and these kind of ones that are saying, you know, we're now going to like stop you collecting money, and we're saying, you know, we're going to return this money to the people that have done. You're like, hang on a second, who are you to be able to do it? But I think a lot of attention's been brought to that now. Maybe some people are starting to wake up and think, I don't actually want to be risking my life in this way. I need to have an alternative, which of course crypto provides us with, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. You're talking to it right there. I don't know. You know, I've always been kind of like, how can we say self-sustainability? Crypto, I feel like, is a great avenue for us to get all of our currencies be on the same playing field. But I'm a huge advocate of supporting local. You know, the other thing I saw happen during the pandemic is everyone went out and shopped Amazon. What did Bezos do? Filled his pockets, got even richer. And they're still doing it. And I'm sitting here like, I mean, you should be going to your local farmers market. If you guys really want to make a change and make your money have more value, it starts with your local economy. And go to your markets, go support your local businesses. You know, if you have to shop online, like, I get it. I live in a town, it's like 400 some odd people. We don't have a lot, but I still do everything I can to go to the next nearest town and find what I need to find. You know, I don't want to go to Walmart and make some billionaire's pockets even deeper. And then, you know, cool, my taxes are going to go and I'm going to get some stimulus check. That's my money just coming back to me, but it's worth less now because I paid for it back then. Like, it doesn't make any sense what's going on right now.
For me, it's just the power of being able to be your own bank. Like with traditional finance, if you don't have a lot of money, you overdraft, they automatically hit you with a $30 fee. They make millions and billions of dollars on these fees. Whereas with crypto, if you don't have enough, transaction won't go through. And I also like how you brought up about the small businesses, because I see us going more towards like the old system of bartering. I'll give you this for this. And I think that's a much better system that actually brings value to people. And that way small businesses will be able to thrive in their niche areas.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I think this can, I think, sorry, Nola, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, Ben, you've talked about that same thing.
Yeah. I mean, we were having a conversation, weren't we, in our like social channel the other day about sustainability. And I think we're all of us were singing exactly the same hymn, you know, in such as like, you know, I'm all about growing as much food as I can. And I mean, there's some states in the US, you can't even collect rainwater or grow your own food. I'm like, who is telling me, right, that in my house, I can't grow my own food and I can't collect rainwater that I'm going to filter, you know, and I mean, that should terrify people, that someone thinks they've got the power to tell us that we can't even start growing our own food on our own land. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy when you look at it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Colorado actually used to be that way up until a couple of years ago. I mean, that's because water out here. I mean, we are severely water deprived, and the ranchers entitled themselves, 100 years ago, that they own everything that comes out of the sky. And it's like, but that's my roof. It's in my roof. So yeah, I've even got rain barrels up just for that, to store, because we go a couple months without water at a time and need it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. I mean, I've noticed a difference. I know that it's not talking about Lumenswap. We'll come on to that in a second. But I've noticed, say, with my growing, if I collect water from the sky and I put it onto my whatever I'm growing, the thing grows like twice as much as if I'm pulling it out the tap.
Yeah, they love it.
The plants absolutely thrive, on that water that you're collected. Again, I mean, here we have like so much shit that's put into our water supply. It's absolutely unreal. And, you know, I think that you only need to test a plant with this stuff and the plant goes and starts dying. You know, when you put the tap water on it, you think this is something crooked going on here.
Yeah, they hate the chemicals.
they do indeed. Let's bring the conversation back in. Lumenswap, Drift Exchange, you know, these kind of stellar projects. I mean, you're making a real kind of splash in contribution and bringing a different vibe, high energy, really happy, very positive person. You know, you bang into your NFTs. I know you're doing some stuff with Sam and there's some other people across Stellar. You know, talk to us about a little bit about you like setting up now and, you know, the Twitter spaces and all of the stuff that you're kind of juggling. Give us a little bit of an insight where we can find you and, you know, what you're up to.
Yeah, I mean, Drift Exchange, thanks, Ben, for, you know, helping bring me into that. I love community managing, you know, helping Glow and all you guys out, you know, helping everybody with questions and all that stuff, providing insight and knowledge. I'm loving it. It's actually been a lot of fun. Some weird questions come across, you know, and I'm like, well, I'm so new to crypto that I don't know these things, but it's nice to have you guys in the background to answer those questions. But yeah, I mean, everybody can find me. I go by Bottoms Up Britch. I came up with that last November. I don't know. I was like, I have my other Twitter. I didn't want to bombard, you know, my homies or other people that follow me because of my outdoor adventure lifestyle to bombard them with too much crypto and, you know, totally change that channel. So I started a new channel and, yeah, that's kind of become my primary identity. And I kind of went that route because, you know, I was like, I don't know if I want too many like creepers or scammers. Shit can get kind of weird on the internet. So, so I kind of started that and, yeah, Drift Exchange. Lots of potential there. It's been really cool. You know, I started following you guys and Lumenswap, and you guys started plugging Drift Exchange, and I wasn't able to get in on the public sale because it just went boom like that. And I don't know where I was. I was off somewhere. So I was pretty disappointed. And then the price went up, and I was like, oh man, this is not gonna happen. And I wanted so badly to be part of the first, what was it, 8 or 12,000 people. And but that went away, and which I think is really cool because now everybody can get in on the same playing field and just partake in the fun and activities and stuff. And it's really cool. I'm loving the weekly collectibles. They're such a easy way to get into NFTs. The way you guys all set that up, it's pretty brilliant. I mean, I think this last week we had a Search Easily piece for 75 drift. I mean, that's nothing, you know, and somebody can get one of those Drift02 tokens out of that and then use that to bid on an auction piece. It's really cool. And then, God, Ben, watching your game, holy cow. Being on that Discord channel was a lot of fun. Just, my gosh, watching the wheels turn with these guys is just hella fun to watch.
I think that's going to be like, it's that I was saying earlier on with my friend Ink on the Mint show that, yeah, if people try and second, I'm probably the most random person I think that anyone could ever wish to meet. And for anyone to try and second guess, they think, oh, this is coming. It's going to be like where have you even got this crap from that you're sharing with us? You know what I mean? It's going to be like left turn, right turn. They're going to be having all sorts of stuff. Like today, we were talking about pirates on the other show. And I was thinking, you know something, I need to bring some pirates into this in some way, shape or form. So yeah, expect a lot more fun with that. I'm going to be really kicking some ass with that extreme crew during March. But yeah, I think I speak for so Cheesley's with us today. He's normally has his day off today, but he's with us in the thread there. But yeah, he's you know, and myself had the conversations where you're kicking ass, you know, with Drift Exchange in the way that you're helping the community and you're keeping an eye out in different areas if it's something we haven't seen, or, you know, Glow is busy doing something else and you stepped in. So I mean, you've really, when we said in February, you know, come in and bring the fire kind of thing, you've really done that. Everyone's absolutely delighted to have you as part of our gang. on that project. And that project, of course, as you say, is almost, it's not a sister project, but me being part and parcel, so tightly with that project, and also being, the lead educator at Lumenswap. I've been knocking on Vlad's door a lot. Come on, give us some verification, allow us to, be part and parcel of the family at Lumenswap, because, along with Rabbit, and a couple of other projects. Vlad really likes Nuna art projects. So big shout out to you guys as well. That there's going to be a little group of projects around Lumenswap, and that's something I'm really excited about. I know we've talked about unity on the network. What do you see as kind of the key things, being a new person, that we can do as a network to start bringing more attention, more people in?
We've talked about education, and Ben, you've done a great job with that. Like when I found you, and I had already kind of looked at Lumenswap. I was already holding some LSP. Same with Nuna and Nafulo. Because you go down the rabbit holes and you find them, and you research, and you think, cool, like I really like this project. I want to support this project. I don't know what I'm going to get out of it, but I'm going to buy some tokens. And I'm a hodl kind of person. Like I'm a sit and wait for 5 years down the road kind of person. Like right now, the world's figuring itself out. Right. But to bring people in, I think a lot of the challenges, I talked about this in one of our little channels, but it's really hard as a newbie, whether or not you can hold a big bag or not. It's really hard to kind of get in and participate in the community, just because if you are coming over from another network, you don't want to like throw your whole bag in there. Or if you're a noob, or if you only have $100 or whatever it is, like you're just dipping your toes, and you just don't want to go full in. And so the only thing that I've seen that is challenging are some of those auctions. And I guess auctions, yeah. I don't participate in auctions in real life because I'm like, all right, y'all are gonna outbid me. Like, why bother? Really fun to watch. And if there's something I will. Or if it goes to a really good cause, like a nonprofit or something, in real life, I'll do it. But other than that, I just bow out because I know I'm never gonna win. And then it's fun to partake, but it doesn't allow a lot of opportunity to be a part of the community. And that's the one thing that drew me to Stellar. For months I had just held XLM till I started going down these rabbit holes, and it was the projects that kind of partnered together and supported each other and tagged each other. Those were the ones they raised my little flag up and got me aware, and I started researching. And it's kind of cool because there are kind of little groups all over the place that they all kind of support each other. But everybody, I think, has got to get on the same bandwagon in terms of, again, how you bring people in. And I think it's really everybody has to kind of define who their target audience is for that project, because some projects, it can be a meme token and it could be everybody, but other projects, it might be like, we need more high-end investors, or we need more participants for gaming, or, whatever it's going to be. And so, if you've got 4 projects that do totally different things, all having kind of the same goal and the same audience, it might not actually work the best. So each project really kind of needs to define that a little bit. But then all band together on, like you guys have talked about before, bigger marketing, if you've got 4 or 5 projects, all promoting kind of that same goal, that same draw to bring everybody in. And then once people are in, then they can kind of split off. Sorry, my dog is trying to bark at something. I don't know what, but anyway, so how that works, I don't exactly know. But it's happening. I mean, I think every day, like, I'm a person, I came down a rabbit hole and here I am, and it's happening. We just don't see it on a large scale, but it's happening in little bits, I think.
I agree. You got to zoom out on the big picture. A lot of times we get stuck in the small zooms. What's going on today? What's going on the last couple of days? When you got to look at the last couple months to last year to really get an idea of where we're at and where we're going. Right now, we're experiencing a lot of growing pains. We're not getting that many new users onto Stellar. which I think is going to change shortly. I think Stellar's going to be coming more into the public eye, and it's going to draw people in, and they're going to go down the same rabbit holes you went down, Nola, where they find out about XLM and Stellar. They start finding out about the projects, and then from there they start telling people. It comes into the 100 monkey effect, where one person tells somebody and they tell somebody, and it slowly grows from there. And that's what we're really after anyways, is organic growth. We don't want the manipulated bots coming in, just putting in big volume and making the numbers all jacked up. Organic growth is going to be best anyways. And we see the narrative slowly switching every day, and crypto's becoming more mainstream and more public. And I see big things coming soon.
Yeah, you're totally right. And, you know, I mean, that's kind of why I don't even remember last week's spaces that Sam Connor hosted. I got on there, just on there, and he brought me up to speak. That was my first time speaking on a spaces. And after that, we were like, cool, let's do this thing once a week. And, you know, it's the first Stellar spaces that I have found on Twitter. You know, I attend a lot of spaces. I pop in, you know, I'll follow people and maybe that way try to, you know, get them to come over or at least look at Stellar a little bit. But actually hosting things like that and like what you guys do here, I mean, this was a game changer for me, this show. You know, I mean, I started watching just before Christmas. You guys, I think, still had Jen, and you brought in what's her face, Lux Life. Yeah, and I was like, dang, they're having so much fun. This is awesome. And I think it brings that sense of community too, when people can go in and listen to things live and get real opinions, get real live answers too. So I think that's a big future. You know, I saw JPEG DAO and Jack, they got, you know, they've started doing their own live YouTube things as well. And they're awesome to sit on and watch and comment or not, you know, but at least like you actually feel like you're becoming part of a community. And I think that's where crypto and especially NFTs is really going, is people want to be involved in that community. And when I follow some of these spaces, they have a following every week, you know, same people come and new people come in because they share with their audiences, and it just, you know, it's just spreading and spreading. And I think, you know, people really want that. And that might be something that came out of COVID. We're all looking for these connections and stuff, you know, and a lot of us, we don't have people in our daily lives around us that believe us or trust us, or, you know, most people, I don't think I have a single friend. They're like, "Ugh, crypto, ugh," you know, like I can't talk to anybody about it. So finding like you guys, you know, in the World Wide Web was amazing. And I think a lot of people really value that.
Yeah, I think that you know, the way that we gravitate towards, you know, the universe kind of saying, yeah, this person needs to be in your life, you know, and there's no logical reason or anything like that. And you kind of track it back, and I analyze things quite a lot and think, you know, there's sliding door moments that led to this, that led to that, you know, and you kind of go left, right, left, and you kind of end up, and you think, would the universe have brought that person if I had gone the other way? Probably, right? Because it was destined to be, you know, that kind of whole thing where people come together and they start working on different projects. I mean, like I say, you know, I talk to Sir Cheesley on a daily basis, and we're friends. I've never met the dude, you know what I mean? I've never met him apart from like, you know, on Telegram, but I consider him as a friend, someone that I could talk to about whether it's like a personal issue or a financial issue or a crypto thing. And that's crazy. In just like 6 months, where I'm talking to someone on voice notes on Telegram every day, and you develop these relationships where they are actual, like a real relationship that you would hold in the same esteem as a relationship you'd have with a friend who I'd be, say, going to visit after this show. It's crazy how you can develop those, and then you gravitate then towards the same people. You start sharing ideas, and then these projects. And Andrew Ink's another one. You know, we're working and do stuff together. We talk all of the time, and you kind of, you know, grow these relationships online. Some with real people, you know, like we're all talking with our faces, some anonymous people like Vlad and your team at Lumenswap. And you kind of go on a whole different, you know, journey that wasn't even available, was it? I mean, like, you know, 10, 15 years ago, you know, I mean, I still remember the days of no phones, right? Because I'm old enough.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that wasn't possible. Now we're having Australian friends, people in Colorado, people in Miami, or you know, the Keys, and you're just chatting to these people, and you know, they're bringing value, and you think, you know, my life is better for having these people in it. And it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people who get drawn to this didn't really fit in with the previous system. So that's why we're here. We're trying to build a new system that's better, because the old system failed us.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the way we're going as well, I mean, we're going into this virtual meeting. We're all going to be sat in the, you know, in a room, you know, seeing each other. It's like we're all sat as friends having a beer together or something. It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely bonkers.
It's wild. We're all going to be in our Lucy NFTs, just kick back on Lucy Beach.
Someday I will have a Lucy. Man, I wanted that last one.
Yeah, I think Vlad needs to open up with these Lucy's a bit. The team have still got like 25. He's like, the Lucy's are mine, all mine, and you won't have them. I'm going to keep them all for myself. But yeah,
I was like that when I minted my stellar caps. I was like, but I want all of them. I was asking Sir Cheesley, I'm like, is it okay to mint this many, but keep them for like, keep one for yourself too? Or I'm like, you know, just keep a couple just cause like I want all of them for myself as well. Like, it's so hard. I don't understand. I mean, I am a graphic designer. That is my background. So I kind of have a, you know, an art background. And as I'm preparing to mint more NFTs, and I'm just like, how do I let go of that? I don't understand how artists just let go of pieces. I don't know if I could ever, like, photography is easy. I can print more of those and sell those and, you know, that kind of thing. But an actual work of art, like a hand painted thing, how does somebody actually let go of that? I don't know. I feel like that's how those Lucy's are.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I look at numerous artists on the network, you know, Dablo being one. If you're listening, he was on earlier on. I hope you're still listening in, Dablo. But I mean, some of his stuff, I was like, if I drew it on like a tattoo or something on someone's arm, I'd be wanting to peel the skin off and go, look at this. But you know what I mean? It's like just amazing what the talent that's out there. You know, there's so many really, really cool people creating the maddest selection, isn't there, or spectrum of art. Just amazing. Here he is. He's still here. Look. Good evening, sir. Good evening. I hope you're well. Yeah, how you doing? It's good to have Sir Cheesley with us as well, trolling the comments box. It's been a long time since he's been there, so yeah, it's good to have you with us on board tonight. And Mint's with us, so Ink, he's here as well. So it's great to have you guys always along on the weekly shows. Going off onto the DAO now, you know, the next feature for Lumenswap is going to be this ability for the community to start making proposals and then voting on it. So it might be you or Glow or someone else in the community, Jack or Sachizi, whoever, making these ideas, you know, having an idea and then, right, I'm going to make this proposal and then us all vote. Do you think this can have a dramatic effect on stellar projects, because you're getting then the collective mind that's coming to work for the project rather than it being maybe blinkered centralized team kind of philosophy?
I honestly think you guys can speak to that more, but from my initial days of researching blockchains and projects, I saw so much on the Ethereum side of things when it came to DAO. I mean, it was everywhere. I never really understood what it meant. But now that Lumenswap's doing it, I'm actually paying attention. I actually do think it will. Because again, it's another avenue for people to come in and feel like they have a voice, feel like they have maybe some form of slight control of the future of a project. And, you know, it's government type things, you know, when we all get together and, you know, most of us, the majority, all want something and it moves there. And, you know, I hope that means it's, you know, for the greater good, and the benefit of the project, and everybody benefits from the future. And yeah, I still don't really know what it looks like, but if it does give more opportunities for projects to start on there and more proposals to happen, that's something that I feel has been missing from Stellar, and I think XLM as well, and maybe a couple of the others, but where Ethereum, they've just exploded with that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And then the staking aspect that Lumenswap, the lending thing. Holy cow. I think that's going to be massive as well. My girlfriend's brother, we were just over there, other side of the state in Denver a few weeks ago. And he was like, you guys, I just got into this thing. It's called crypto staking. He was one of those people that was like, he got on the Shiba Inu right there when it was just starting to go up, and he was so excited about it. Like, I made 45,000 today. So he's kind of that kind of person. He's like, I'm paying my rent with this. And I'm like, I don't know. You're doing it with USDT. I don't know how much I trust that one, bro, but okay. But to have more of that on smaller scale, I mean, he's hiring somebody out of New York to handle that, which I think is just kind of weird and out there. But to be able to bring that to each and every individual person on a project, the liquidity pools, if things start actually going back up again, those are going to be super successful. But the lending aspect, I think, is, it kind of scares me that people lend for crypto, but a lot of people do it. And the rest of us that might just be sitting around and hodling our coins, we can benefit from that. So that's pretty cool too.
For sure. Going back to the original question, I think it's going to drive innovation, having the ability to have governance proposals and governance votes, because there's a lot of really intelligent people in the community that know where they want the project to go, and they're willing to put their LSP. They're like, here, I'm willing to put this much up to make this proposal. This is how much it means to me. And other people are going to be able to review that proposal and be like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Or no, that idea is shit. I'm going to downvote that proposal. Whatever it is, everybody has a chance to make that proposal if they want to better the community.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the innovation for me is, when people keep kind of, oh, we should do this and we should do that and we should do this, and I think, maybe we should do all of them things, because they're all really cool ideas. But then I think, maybe, am I just, speaking from my perspective, it's going to be good to see the community go, oh, that's the one, that's a really cool thing. And everyone kind of get behind it and then see that manifest into the actual project itself, especially as we're coming down now into what I consider like the juicy things from Lumenswap. I think these are the game changers. Now, we've seen the fun things and we've seen the practical things, and I'm not saying anything about the development that we've already seen in a negative way, but I'm saying I think they've done it in a stepping stone order in terms of power and significance. Because as soon as you get the community involvement, there's a reason for us to get to have the conversation, to be staking our LSP into how the project should be directed. Then we're going to be having they're looking at these anchors and bridges and the public NFT marketplace. I mean, Vlad's given me a date which I can't share, but they're going to be opening out the marketplace instead of it just being private with just Lucy's to public. And I think, oh my God, that could really start shaking some stuff up, especially when we know that obviously Lightning, I think there are issues around decentralized NFT marketplaces because of theft, because of this, because of that. So I think they've got to proceed with caution. But I think with Lightning being obviously centralized and having this lag, when you mint something to be, checked and to go through that whole process, that's great. That's great that it's all being kind of, made sure that it's above board and kosher. And then I also think the space for, I don't know how they will do the, combating the counterfeiting side, but then there's going to be like Lumenswap, which are going to be open source, decentralized NFT marketplace where you can just go and mint. And I think a lot of artists are going to come there as well, and they're going to say, right, Lumenswap's the place for us to start putting some artwork. And I know that some artists have gone into the other NFT marketplace. I'm not going to publicize here, but into the other one on Stellar as well. And they've tried that. It's a little bit clunky. But I think with the ease and simplicity that we see with Lumenswap's features, that could be a really powerful thing for Lumenswap to have that. And finally, of course, then there's going to be the lending, as you've said, Nola, where you've got lending and borrowing, which of course I've talked on this show about with yield blocks. I think when we look at Anchor Protocol, I did a video for our team with Drift Exchange, just explaining how I go across and bridge out of Stellar and across and use Anchor and that. And I think when you kind of create these lending and borrowing platforms, then all of a sudden, you open the potential floodgate. So these 3 or 4 features we're going to see from the DAO through the rest of 2022, for me, are what puts Lumenswap not just on the map, but like right at the top of the pile.
One thing I want to touch on with that NFT marketplace, a big thing is if they do make the NFTs purchasable in NLSP or LSP, that's just going to drive utility. More people are going to purchase LSP if you have to use that to mint, or if you have to use that to purchase the NFTs. So that'll be interesting to see what avenues they go, if it's just going to be NLSP or LSP, or if they're going to go for the XLM route as well.
Yeah,
I think it'd be clever if they kept it, like you say, in LSP and NLSP. If they did that, then you can start like adding some zeros to LSP's price, can't you? Because people are going to come across. You imagine if you can only use one asset on the whole of that marketplace. That'd be very shrewd move. And knowing Vlad as I do, I think it'd be a very sensible move that he's probably already thinking that's the way that they're going to go.
Especially if a portion of that was burnt to make it even more deflationary. I mean, there's so many ways you can go with that, especially with the smart contracts coming in. If they're able to add royalties, it's just the sky is the limit.
Yeah, and then imagine, I mean, if everybody has to swap on Lumenswap, then you've got the liquidity pools, XLM, LSP, or whatever it is. Hey, we all benefit there too.
And we get the Rabbit wallet that connects everything, the Web3 wallet with the Lumenswap app. As soon as you go on there, the NFT marketplace from Lumenswap, Drift's app, Interstellar's app, all these apps, it'll be like your mobile phone, pretty much an app of your mobile phone inside the mobile phone.
Yeah.
Well, this is the cool thing. I mean, when you start talking about the other projects, I mean, Lumenswap and a little family around it, the Drift. I mean, Drift, Lock, Stock, and Barrel would move onto Lumenswap and say we're doing all the NFT stuff. So we'll be bringing, I mean, Ink's put here, better start planning my LSP exclusive collection. But joking aside, with these that's what these artists will do. You will get the Dablos and the Inks and the Edward, and all of these artists will start saying, I'm actually going to put a little bit of stuff on Lumenswap, see how we get on. And then you're going to get this. So, let's check Lightning. Let's check Lumenswap as well, see if there's any bad ass stuff on there. And then it's going to get the traction. And if that is just LSP, it's going to be an exciting end to the year, isn't it, in terms of price? My God.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about the monopolies is if there's only one company that's doing an NFT marketplace, that stifles innovation. They have no motivation or reason to innovate, because why would they? Everybody just goes to Lightman anyways. Once Lightman starts getting some competition, that'll push them to start doing royalties, start doing some of the stuff that I know they're probably working on, but they'll probably put their ass in gear once they have a little bit of competition.
And it's really, really healthy. I mean, you look at any kind of sector, you raise your game with competition. And I mean, another conversation we have quite regularly is, some of the sensible companies out there, instead of saying we're going to fight the competition, they partner up with them. They do things together, don't they? They come on board and say, we're going to, bring this person, this up and coming project that does the same thing as us. We'll give them a bit of, airtime or promotion, because it benefits them, because they're seen to be, working alongside them. And I think Lumenswap start doing this with projects, and I was speaking to Vlad this week, and I said, because I'm always pecking his head about something. I said, why can't we do multiple prizes on the lottery? I said, is that doable? Can you have multiple blocks where you would say prize one would be on, say, 39,486, prize two, 39,400 or 681, and just have those different, and then go to the partners that you're with and say, if you want to, you know, provide, you know, a prize in the lottery, you can. We'll give you some promotion and this kind of thing. You will be on the only decentralized lottery on Stellar, but you provide the prize. So then they buy it in LSP only tickets. Someone else has provided the prize, you know, so you haven't got any outlay on the prize. You use the lottery system that we've got, burning LSP, bringing the supply in. Someone else is paying the prize. I'm like, that's got to be. And then if you imagine doing, oh, the first prize is say $10,000, second prize is, you know, however a Lucy or whatever it might be, NFT, third prize is this, fourth prize is some merch, you know, and you have this like list of prizes. People are going to be like, I'm in, and do it like on a, you know, 2 weekly rolling basis. I mean, that's something. Again, they've already built the software for it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, aren't you kind of doing that with the Extreme Crew too? You've got, I saw this month, you know, the first prize is so much drift, and then after that there's like XLM or ISX. You're kind of doing the same thing but on a smaller scale. But yeah, awesome.
For me, it gives me more motivation to enter and participate if there's multiple prizes, because I know if there's like 500 people entering or 1,000 people, however many it is, if there's only one prize, that's not the best odds. But if there's 10, 15, 20 prizes, I'm like, okay, I actually have a chance to get something cool. Even if it's just something little, at least I know I have a chance.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I just want a little chance.
Yeah, and I think that's the good thing, like we said before, about like the digital collectibles here. I know that there's a lot of networks you can't do that, but here on Stellar, it's a good thing that we can do like a multi-mint, we call them, you know, where you have 50 or 80 copies of something and you can get artwork into lots of newer people's hands who haven't got the big bucks to be paying for the top art, you know, on one of one. So there's a hell of a lot of potential, isn't there, in the network and the different aspects. I mean, you know, the last week we saw Lumenswap's loose first, you know, what the community said to me, you know, numerous times, we want to be doing, you know, some other things. So lad, you know, can we do the Lucy NFT rather than just having big prizes? And, you know, it proved very successful. I think there was like 26,000 tickets sold and about 300 participants, which is, you know, considering that we only sold 130,000 tickets for the first lottery, and that was for a car, 26,000 for this one for an NFT was a really, really good result. And, you know, I thought that's just the first step really to what Sir Cheesley said back here. You know, it's got a lot of potential, a lottery. I mean, they use them all around the world, don't they? Lotteries, every country's got them, and, you know, localities, etc. And I just think whether it's NFTs, different prizes, partner projects, could even be the fact that if you want verification on Lumenswap, you have to stump up $10,000, which is going to provide a prize for the lottery. And then you get verification on the platform. The $10,000 gets used for either good causes or lottery prizes or whatever. And then if as a project manager or as a developer, I would be more than happy to do that, knowing that then you're opening your project up to a lot of other people, trust lines, etc., etc. So yeah, all happy days.
Great idea.
Looking in the comments, Lux Life has appeared. We mentioned you earlier. We mentioned you earlier, Lemon, saying we'll have to get you back on again because we need some of your Barbara Windsor kind of chuckling. You know, and that was a real fun show when we did the Christmas special. So yeah, it'd be good to get you back on. What else have we got in the comments? Let's have a look. I think we've covered pretty much everything. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to do the screen share and do the giveaway of 1,000 LSP. We've got 32 entries today. So let's see who's going to be the lucky person. It's going to win some LSP tokens. Let me share away. Random dudes was what you had to put in. Here we go. Good luck.
I always love watching this, by the way. I'm always sitting back there like, oh gosh.
Yay, Renegade JPEG. Yeah, there we go. Well, by the way, I love that dog. I hope that's your dog. It looks really like I've got a dog, Ron and Reg, named after the Cray twins, the gangsters in London. And my Reg looks exactly like this dog here. Really cool. So well done. If you just drop me a message with your address, I'll forward that on to Vlad and he will send you 1,000 LSP tokens. So well done. Congrats. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We're coming to that hour point and we're going to knock it on the head. I was really wrapped up in today's conversation. I think we've covered some really cool stuff. Nola, it's a great pleasure. We're delighted that you've landed on the Stellar Network, and I genuinely mean that. I think you bring a shit ton of value. You know, you're always looking to evolve and innovate and contribute. And we're at Drift Exchange delighted to have you as part of the team. I should probably ask Vlad that you need a cheeky role with Lumenswap as well, somewhere along the lines. I think that, you know, we might be able to sort something out there. I think that if you carry on doing what you're doing, there's no reason why not. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a great show and I've really enjoyed it. Glow, as always, thank you, mate. And the community. Remember, guys, if you haven't already, please share on Twitter, like, subscribe, do all the stuff. It helps with the algorithm. Final words, Glow?
Just want to say I'm excited for DAO. I'm excited for the NFT marketplace. There's a lot of cool stuff coming at LSP. Super cheap price. Pretty much, it looks like we bottomed out and hit a floor price. So not looking like a bad opportunity to jump in right now.
Yeah, I mean, if there is one thing we can tell everyone, it's now is the time to get in. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. I think that for what Lumenswap's bringing to the table, what is it, like 3.7 cents or something tonight? I think it's just a steal. You know, and these 4 things that I've mentioned, you know, that are going to be coming in 2022. Yeah, when we get the traction of the people coming to the network, those are going to be really, really important. And I think we're going to see significant price appreciation. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining me, and catch you all again soon. Have a wonderful day, Nola. Enjoying your adventure.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Cheers.